Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I know it was raining, so I was giving everybody a chance to kind of come in. Oh, yeah. Need to grab more. There's empty chairs. It's kind of like church. Like if everybody would just scoot into the empty ones. Who has an empty chair next to them? We've got some people. Okay, yeah, so maybe just grab a chair. We were expecting about 70, so I think we had about 70 chairs out. And there's a ton more in the corner over here. Okay. All right. Well, we are. I'm like shaking like a leaf. I don't know why. I'm so nervous. So my name is Erin Woods, and I am a compassionate entrepreneurial trades consultant. And I'm the director of the local team here, Small Things, Great Love. And Crystal Barnum is here, and she is the director of the other local team, Free to Fly. There's Crystal. And yeah, so we meet on the second Tuesday of every month. And I was telling Shelley, last month we had Holly, this month we have Shelley Clay. I'm just going to stop having team meetings. We're pretty much done. Like, that's it. We can't go. There's nowhere to go from here. Because I'm going to be a massive disappointment compared to anything else. Thank you for buzzing me. But I'm nervous. I don't know exactly why. It's just, Shelley Clay is here from Haiti in Orlando, and she was willing to give up time from her vacation with her kids to be with us. And I'm just, I kept pinching myself all this week thinking, there's a meeting on Tuesday with Shelley Clay. Shelley Clay's coming. She's coming. Shelley Clay is going to be here. Oh, my gosh. And she's here. And I'm just really thankful. So can we give a round of applause for that? Because I just think it's wonderful and such a gift. Usually I'm a fairly articulate person. Some might even say I'm pretty good with words. And I was an English teacher, and I like language and communication. But I'll never forget, and Shelley may or may not remember this because I hope she forgot. The first time I met her, I had been a CE for almost just over a year, and I had the chance to go to Haiti, and that was 2 years ago. And when you meet somebody that you really, really admire, and you just, right now, my mouth is going dry, you get, even the most articulate person just becomes oh. And that's what I did. I said to her, I said, I say your name all the time. And she's like, okay. Because I said her name all the time at parties. And she was like, that's probably thinking, that's so weird. Who is this girl? Why is she? Because I would tell her story over and over. And I've told the story. I could tell it right now. And, in my sleep, I could tell, Shelley Clay. In 2007, a woman named Shelley Clay went to Haiti to adopt a child. And it's so much better when Shelley tells it. And the first time, so after that awkward thing, I really didn't talk to her the rest of the vision trip because I felt so dumb and I was so intimidated. But I'll never forget that night, we had just arrived and she came by the house. And that's why it was so surprising that I was completely taken apart. Because she just showed up. There she was. We were eating dinner. And then she was sitting at the dinner table with us. And she just started talking. And it was she's the kind of person that when she starts to talk, you just want to lean in and hear every single word that she has to say. And I remember getting, we were 30 minutes in, she was still talking, and I was just I should have been recording this. It was everything that she was saying was just punching me in the heart, and I could just feel, even, then, 2 years ago, just the fire starting to burn. And because everything that she says is so real and just what we need to hear, because we are partners with Shelley. And, she's on the ground, she's living a completely different life than we are in Haiti, but she couldn't do what she does if we didn't do what we do. And it's just, it's so incredible. And I love the partnership that we have. And I know that you're just going to get punched in the heart over and over again hearing from Shelley. Because everything she says, you just want to lean in and listen. So hopefully I'm not quite as spazzy as I was that first time. But I'm just thankful that she's here tonight, and let's welcome Shelley Clay.
I'm all prepared. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. Can you all hear me? Good?
Yeah.
My purpose of being here, primarily just to thank you for what you do, to be a part of the story of redemption that I get to witness every day in Haiti. It's to thank you, to hopefully inspire you. It's to hopefully give you more tools that you can go home and you can sell more. Because every time that you sell, you're changing a life. And so that's my purpose for being here today. And just I have so many great friends that I've made already through the Trades of Hope community. I was able to go to Guatemala with Trades of Hope last year, just as a guest and just to have fun. And I just have gotten to be such great friends with so many Trades of Hope on here. And so that's been such a blessing in my life, as I am a bit isolated on an island in the Caribbean most of the time. So. In front of you are some sample pieces. Those are not for sale. You do know that sometimes when you have parties, you give hostess gifts away, and so that is my gift of thank you to you for what you do for our artisans and Haiti. So whatever is in front of you is a gift to you. And then if you hate what is in front of you, and you're like, then there's some extra pieces in the back that when you're done, you can trade it out. And now there's a blessing.
I know, they're like, what? What? Hold on.
Did you already sign this?
Yeah, oh yeah, this one's mine.
How many were you guys were at the retreat? And when was that, March?
January. Shelley, can you hold the microphone close to your mouth? They're having a hard time hearing you on the stream. Oh, there you go. I don't know. It's just higher. Yeah, it needs to be closer to your. Yeah, maybe. Or just.
Oh, you can flip it higher on your.
Just put it closer to your face.
Is that okay for this one?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
All right, let me know if I'm wrong.
Okay, it's just them online.
So, how many people were at the retreat in January? Do you guys mind if I tell my story again?
No.
No, please tell us.
Okay, so many of you guys have heard how I came to be in Haiti, and I just want to quickly go over that story again, just because I think it's important that you guys hear it firsthand, and then you have that story to tell, and know that you're, that you're telling the truth and you're telling a real story when you're at your party. So, like Aaron said, in 2007, I was sitting at home longing for another baby, and I couldn't have a baby because we had some infertility issues, and some of you guys may have experienced that, and so I knew the kind of the devastation and the sadness of that. I wanted to add to my family through adoption, and I'd always thought I was going to have 7 kids, and loved being a mom, and was really sad about not having what I expected my life to be at that point. So I'm sitting in Canada, I had a baby, a 2-year-old, and I was nursing him and in a rocking chair and looking online at adoption options and came upon a little picture of a little brown boy named Woodlson, and he was from Haiti, and I was like, where's Haiti? And isn't that somewhere in Africa, like by Madagascar or something like that? And so I researched it, and I'm like, wow, that's like super close, I mean, I could go there and check it out. And so that's what I basically decided to do, and go check out an orphanage and see what the story is down there. And so in 2007, in October, I went to Haiti for the first time, and I was scared to death. I wouldn't walk a block without, running back to like the hotel, outside of the hotel. I was afraid that someone was going to kill me in every corner, and this is very much what we hear about Haiti in the news, and what in some ways it can be. I was very cautious, and I spent a week in an orphanage, and there was about 40 kids in this orphanage that doesn't exist anymore. But during my week there, I just started asking questions. I'm kind of inquisitive and probably a little nosy. So I would ask my orphanage director about each of the kids there, including the one that I was kind of eyeballing for adoption. And every single child in that orphanage had living parents. And during the course of that week, I would see the moms of these kids come and come over and snuggle them, and give them little gifts. They usually give them fruit, because that's what they can afford to give them. And check in on them. And I thought to myself, man, like if I had my little Zebedee at the time, if this was me, I had to give my child away because I just couldn't feed them. And I just thought, man, my heart was broken for these women who the best thing that they could do for their kids was to give them. And I felt like adoption is good, and it's still not the best, And we need to support and empower women and men to be able to support those children that God gave them before we look at adopting kids who have parents. And I don't know why it seems sort of like kind of like a revolutionary concept at the time, which I think a lot more people are coming around to this idea of development and opportunity for the poor as opposed to just aid and adoption. And at the time, it just seemed like a no-brainer. Well, what can a woman do to support her kid? How much money are we talking about? And I kind of started asking, is that $200-300 a month when a woman can keep her kids in Haiti? And so 9 months after my first trip to Haiti, I was living there permanently. So I came in the summer of 2008. And during those 9 months, I formed a nonprofit called the Parent Project, which maybe some of you guys have heard of. And the goal of the Parent Project was to be able to empower parents to keep their kids.
You gotta be louder.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm gonna put it right here.
I know.
And so one of the things that I love that happened, and I didn't really plan it this way, but sometimes people get a great idea and they go in and they just try and start doing their great idea. But one of the things that's really important when you're working internationally is to listen and to have that time where you glean and you understand, what's going on. And I think for me, I ended up living in an orphanage for a full year before we launched and started doing more than that. And so during that year, I was able to learn Creole, so that's really good because it's always important to be able to understand people who you're trying to help and ask them questions and get their ideas and input. Then I also just saw the situation over and over and over again of moms coming and knocking on the gate, asking for help. No help is available. Asking for help again. Sorry, we don't do that. We only take children. And then, third or fourth time, they finally are like, fine, that's the only thing I can do, so I'm going to do it. So I would see that that thing happen and play over and over again. And in fact, that's how I got my first adopted son, Jackson. His mom came and abandoned him at an orphanage. She was supposed to come back with some people, and she ended up leaving and never came back. And I saw the scenario unfold of the child being abandoned. It just broke my heart. But I ended up being able to step in and adopt him. And he's 8 years old now. And, he's great. So watching that situation just gave me so much more information and gave me so much more ideas of what the situation really is and how to best help. And I think that's one thing I really learned is that you really got to take the time to figure out what's going on before you just jump in. And so I'm so grateful for that year. In 2008, I started inviting 4 women over to my house 2 times a week. I didn't know anything about jewelry. I don't really know jewelry. I just want I put this on just for tonight. I gotta represent. I'm just a pretty plain Jane kind of girl, but earrings and bracelets seem like a pretty easy thing to put together. And so we started out going down to local markets and getting, shells and seeds and things like that and stringing it together. And then I would go on Facebook and tell the story of this woman who's just trying to keep her kid and you buy this really ugly bracelet for $10 and then she can feed her family. And of course, what did all my friends do? I'll buy it. And so that's kind of how we got started. We quickly realized that that wasn't a sustainable model. If you're going to really be in business that's sustainable, you got to have beautiful things. And so we had step it up pretty quickly, but thankfully people were gracious at the beginning, and we still sold some things. I still have some of those original pieces from the beginning, and they're so endearing. I love them so much. It's just a reminder of where we've come from, and in some ways, it's, you like those. I should probably auction them off. So we started doing that, and then I was like, man, I should probably learn how to make jewelry or something, something a little bit more complex. And so I kind of got into that, and then just one thing led to another, and then we started learning. We were importing all of our beads, and then we're like, well, can we make beads locally? Yes, there's clay in Haiti, and how do we do this? And it just kind of started to unfold as our needs were made known. People would come down and help me, and so we had a team of potters and ceramists come down and would help us with our clay production that started, and then we started making pottery and mugs, and a lot of things that we can never export in the same way that we can jewelry, so you might never see that, like especially if you trade with them. But it's just been amazing right now. Are you familiar with the nonprofit Feed My Starving Children? They do rice packets and then send it to kids all over the world. So they started selling our mugs, because the mugs and the ceramic beads, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's made out of the same clay that they make the dirt cookies out of, that the poor eat in Haiti. And so it's so fun to go to the same place where the women are buying the clay to make dirt cookies because they can't afford to eat anything real. And we're going to that same place and buying clay, and we're employing people with that clay so that they can make enough money that they can afford nutritious meals for their kids. So all of these bracelets I have in here, this is all made out of the same clay as the dirt cookies are made of. So that's a great little story here when I tell the party. So Feed My Starving Children, of course, heard that story, and they're like, we're going to sell those mugs because, that's what we do, is we're fighting poverty and starvation, and so it just gets in line, and so they're buying our mugs by the thousands per month right now. So that's just been such a blessing, and it's just kept so many people working. So we just started to grow, and we added a few more people, and then the earthquake hit, and we had a house of artisans working during an earthquake. No one who worked with us was injured. That was such a miracle. The earthquake brought all the attention of the world to Haiti, and so in that sense, it gave us a platform. We already had sort of a foundation laid as far as sales go, and so all these celebrities started pouring into Haiti, and so then we became known as being one of the groups down there who's actually trying to create sustainable employment, and so we had a lot of fun, entertaining and hosting some pretty big names like Bill Clinton's been there a couple times, Kim Kardashian's actually been there to our place, and Olivia Wilde, just very interesting life that I never thought that I would ever lead. People, when would I ever even meet those people, right? So we started to grow, and then Created with Hope. I met Gretchen just after the earthquake, and Gretchen had been involved in Haiti for years, and so she came over and she was trying to do this new startup thing, and it was just tiny. So in so many ways, Trades of Hope and it was a parent project at the time have really grown together. And I want to highlight the tie that is between what we do and how much what you guys do affects the jobs that are created in Haiti. Because I think that's important. If you really understand that, then what you do becomes so much more significant. But Trades of Hope came to us, and of course, normal business models, you gotta have the wholesale and then you mark up and the retail. You know what I mean? Like there's a couple, you can't, like the way we were selling things was like, here, buy this bracelet for $10 and give the $10 to the artist. Well, that's not really a sustainable model, right? And so, so we started exploring what wholesale was, and I had no background in any of this stuff, so I had to learn as I go. But so it was really our first like wholesale account was Trades of Hope. And so we figured out what the price was for each bead, and how much we're going to pay our artisans for each piece, and wanting always to pay enough that they can shelter themselves, feed their kids, and send their kids to school, which is about 3 times the minimum wage in Haiti. If you're being paid the minimum wage in Haiti, you can't even eat lunch as a family. It's $3.50 a day right now, minimum wage. So if you have a family, there's just no way of even eating. And so to me, it was like a lot of factories or a lot of businesses, like, why wouldn't you pay the lowest you can possibly pay? And like, well, if a woman is still having to go to an orphanage to give kids away when she's working for me, then that, what am I doing here, you know? And so to me, it's always been just a line that I won't cross, that they have to get paid enough to meet those basic needs. And it's been, I think, because of the message and the spirit behind what we do, it's been successful regardless of the fact that we're not as competitive with other companies that could do things cheaper because of their wages. So, so Trades of Hope came alongside of us and started buying a couple pieces and, you know, like 50 bracelets or something like that, you know, when they first started. And because of the model that Trades of Hope is, which is an exponential model, right? Like it just grows and grows and grows. Because every time you sign people up, they sign people up, everybody's multiplying. And the thing is that when you multiply yourselves, you're actually creating another job in Haiti. So when you're signing up people under you, like literally, there's what, 70 people in this room, you probably represent 70 jobs easily in Haiti. And if you guys all went home and signed 2 people up under me, and you had 141 people, now all of a sudden we have 210 jobs in Haiti. Do you know what I'm saying? It's real. Because the volume that you guys can sell can sustain a mom in Haiti to keep her kids. And so I really want for you guys to understand that it's not just about selling, but just duplicating yourself. Because the more you can duplicate yourself, the more an army of people here, creating an army of empowered moms in Haiti. And so that's been really exciting. Now, I'm not really a business person at all. I've learned everything I've learned down in Haiti. I majored in German in college. It's really helpful. So literally everything I've learned, I've just learned by doing it. And so the whole sort of like, what do you call it?
Home parties?
Home party model, yeah. I just kind of, you know, I'm not a salesperson. How many in here don't feel like they're salespeople? Like, I mean, do we really love pushing products on people that don't want to have, you know what I mean? It's hard, right? And you guys are my heroes, really, because it's really hard to sell things. It's really hard to feel like you're always putting yourself out there, you know, and you're risking so much rejection constantly for maybe, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are pretty amazing, you know, because I don't know if I could do that. So I didn't have a lot of faith in that model because I'm like, I would really not do well at that model, you know? But then I'm starting to watch it happen. And I'm watching Trades of Hope double, triple, and like grow at 300% or something every year. Like, what? And then I'm watching my orders increase and increase and increase to where now Trades of Hope is like 30% of our workforce down there, you know? We ended up not breaking off, but separating from a parent project in the sense that we had to establish ourselves as a real business in Haiti, and so that's what it's called Papillion Enterprises. It's Papillon, which is a French word for butterfly. I love butterflies because there's a transformation involved with butterflies, right? You know, it starts out as a little worm and then it's a caterpillar and then turns into something beautiful. And I feel like some of you guys who heard what I talked about at the retreat maybe know that like my life hasn't always been so pretty, and so I feel like I'm always being transformed. I feel like our husbands' lives are always being transformed, and probably, if we're all honest, we all have things in our life that we're being transformed from, and hopefully becoming more beautiful because of what, you know, what we're doing through Trades of Hope, what we're able to do, you know, because of the things that God has laid on our hearts, you know. So I opened the business as Papillion Enterprise, and then it gradually made sort of a distinction. It became a self-sustaining functional business, Haitian company called Papillion Enterprise. The parent project is run independently. A lot of people get us all confused, and that's okay. It doesn't really matter. We work very closely together with the parent project. The parent project is still involved in our daycare. We fund our daycare, so all of our moms have the ability to leave their kids in the daycare. Which is really important if you're a new mom. I mean, how many of you guys know how hard it is to make your babies, right? So to be able to bring your babies with your work and drop down and nurse during your break and lunch times, it's just, you know, it's so great. And it safeguards those kids too. So we have that. We have our computer training center there that Parent Project funds, and that's teaching our artisans higher level skills, computer skills, Word, Excel, things like that. And then what else does Parent Project do? They do all the like development and if there's a need to bring people down to teach new skills, they'll kind of fund that because it's hard on a business to always be funding itself in that way. So we work together really well, but just so you know the difference between the two. So we separated out from a Parent Project, became a wholesale, basically manufacturer of artisan goods. We're right now working on our fair trade certification, which will help you this year. And I really dug my heels in on that a little bit because I didn't feel like it was super necessary, and I feel like we're so, what we offer to our artisans is beyond and above what is mandated by fair trade. So I kind of always felt like, well, I don't really need that, but I also realize that it's going to open up a lot of doors for sales for us if we have that certification, and it'll probably help you guys, right? Once we get certified, and I think Trades of Hope might be going through that certification as well, so that when you get those questions at your parties about, you know, the authenticity and the integrity of the products and that kind of stuff, that you can stand by it and know that it is legal with all the fair trade standards in mind. So yeah, we became a manufacturing company, and then Trades of Hope starts growing, and we're growing, and Trades of Hope's growing, and we're growing, and all of a sudden I just kind of had this aha moment, you know, pretty much last year when I went to Guatemala, and I'm watching all of this, like the top CEs were on this trip, and I was watching what they're capable of, and watching where Trades of Hope was going and the growth there, and it just was like, I better get on board here. Like, I better start paying attention to what is going on here, because whatever Trades of Hope does is a direct impact on what's going on with us in Haiti. And so I've always been so grateful for Trades of Hope, Progression, and Holly and Live at Heart, because I work with a lot of other buyers who they want like the fair trade company as a business. They want to pay as little as possible and sell for as much as possible. They're normal business people, right? But it's really hard on us because it's like when you're always pushing price points down, and they don't realize the things we're dealing with, like electricity's out today, or, you know, we got robbed last night, or, you know what I mean? Just like there's just constant things that you don't have to deal with in the States. And so to put constant price pressure on us, it's just discouraging, especially when we see them on the other hand, you know, trumpeting how good that they're being and how much they're helping in the world by all of these things that they're doing. And so that can be discouraging. And so we do deal with some companies like that. I can assure you, Trades of Hope is not one of them. They are, hands down, you know, one of the best companies we've ever worked with. They pay on time. Do you know how hard it is to get paid on time? You know, like when we sell stuff, when we send stuff out, just to get paid like immediately so that we can pay our artisans immediately. Pay on time. They don't put fresh pressure. They work with us if there's a product that's not working, trying to find new products that are going to work better. I mean, it's kind of like we're like, just like a sisterhood of like, we have the same heart, just kind of two different venues for that same heart. So I want to assure you from my perspective as the person who's producing, as representing, because you guys have a lot of groups who are producing for you, that Trades of Hope is a great company, and they treat people well, and they treat people fairly. And when you guys are someone, you can stand by that, you can stand by the product, you can stand by the integrity of the organization, knowing that what you're saying it is what it is. And so I want to encourage you to know that. So last December, we get a purchase order from Trades of Hope for $47,000. You know, we started with 4 women. We started out with orders from Trades of Hope for about 50 bracelets, and so last December, $47,000. Okay. Every time you duplicate yourself, that $47,000 becomes $100,000. And those wages are going to Haiti, supporting moms who don't have any other choice. You guys, it's not like they don't have, it's not like they're like, oh, I don't want to work at McDonald's. You know what I mean? There is no job for them. They can carry a basket on their head and sell avocados and make maybe a couple bucks a day, not even minimum wage. That's their only option. And there's no economy there. Right now, we don't even have a functioning government. the elections didn't go through in January, and they postponed them to next February. They don't have any money to have the election. And so, there's a vacuum cleaner.
We don't need anyone.
Someone's being diligent. For most of the people who work at Papillion, they've never had a job before. They've been trained with, everything that they know about a job comes from what we tell them. It's really funny because we have a lot of just, things we know, like don't cuss your boss out, you'll probably get fired. They don't know that, you know what I mean? So I've gotten yelled at a few times, and I'm like, yeah, you probably don't want to talk like that, just saying. How to use the toilet. You don't think you're going to be teaching your employees how to use the toilet, but you do when people have never had a toilet before. There's just so many things that we just grow up with in our country and in our education system that they don't know. And so we're not just working with people so that they have jobs. We're bringing them into a new level of dignity and of being that is, it's just higher level. It's more dignified, and that's really cool to see. So, Shirley, how many of you guys met Shirley or saw Shirley at the retreat?
Retreat.
Okay, yeah. Shirley came to me at 15 years old, living in a tent, and she didn't have even a high school education. Look at her now. She's the operations manager. I'm gone for 8 weeks. She's running everything. She's 21 years old now. I don't think I could have done what she was doing at 21. So it's just so cool to see people become something that they never thought was possible. And it's really cool to be part of that. And I get to see it with my eyes, and I want through this discussion today that you guys, and understand that you're such a part of that. So, yeah. There's a couple pictures that Erin left for me up here. This is one of our artisans. Her name is Genia. You guys heard of her? Yeah? She's doing great. This little one is much older now. Genia works doing our hand building of our inner pottery section. She started out, I think, rolling beads. Most people start out rolling beads. But she makes these little ceramic crosses now. She's just a beautiful person. She's doing such a great job with her daughter, and she's still there. And it's so fun to remember that day when she was knocking at the gate begging because she was holding her baby and she was malnourished. And I said, sometimes I have enough time to do this, and I did it that day, which is okay because I don't believe everything I hear. So that's something we learn really quick. Is, okay, show me where you're going, and I'll follow you there. And I followed the cement house where she was sleeping on the ground in the cement at someone's house that she didn't even really know, and with her baby, and didn't have anywhere to go, anything to do. She was starving, and I'm like, okay, I gotta give you a job, So she started, and she's doing great. And Erin was there that day when she started, and that's really fun because people come back over and over and over again and take her picture because they remember that day when she got hired. And that is a story that's pretty typical. Like when we hire at this point, that's pretty much how it happens. There's a whole row full of babies outside of our artisan facility all day long, every day. 10 of them or so holding their babies with yellow crispy hair because they don't even have enough protein in their diets for their hair to grow normally. And I can't walk across the street without people trying to come up to me and grab me and yell, Shelley, 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 please. And I have to turn my head away and block my ears because I can't every day hire 10 people. It never ends. I could hire everyone outside one day, there'd be 10 more outside the next day, and 10 more outside the next day. So when you guys sell, when you duplicate yourself, I need to go outside and hire Genia. It really is like that. So I want to encourage you guys that when you're in that mundane, you make this call. I have this party, I'm so tired. Think about the woman who's been standing outside my gate for 12 hours in the sun with her baby. And not out of guilt. It's just because God's empowered you to be in a position where you can speak for Him, where you can have an impact. This one is Lynette. Monette, she's actually quite close to me because she worked as my housekeeper for about a year while she was pregnant with these two. And one of the things that a lot of people don't know, and I was hesitating whether or not to address this or not because it is a bit controversial and not everybody believes the same about it, but abortion is fairly rampant in Haiti, and it's not the way we think of it. It's this potion medicine that they will drink that basically causes a miscarriage. It's really, really dangerous for the women. Many women die that way. And oftentimes women are put into that situation by their spouses or by significant others who are just like, no, we're not going to do this. And so he makes her drink this thing that could potentially kill her in an attempt to stop what has started. I think we would all agree, even without discussing the issue of abortion, I think we would all agree that if a mom wants to keep and have a baby, we should empower and support her in that. So Monette had 5 children, and she was pregnant during the earthquake. And when the earthquake happened, her husband said to her, we are not having this baby. And so she drank the potion and had a miscarriage. So about a year later, 2 years later, we found out she's pregnant, working for me, and we found out she's pregnant again. And she says to me, my husband's saying, no way. I'm going to have to do this again. I almost died the last time. I was in the hospital, I was bleeding, all these things. I don't want to go through that again. And she's a woman of faith, too, where she doesn't feel like that's what is right for her. And so she said, I don't know what to do. He really wants me to end this pregnancy. I said, Monette, I said, you're okay. You have a job. We're not going anywhere. You're making more money than you ever imagined that you could make. I said, why don't you just try and keep these kids, keep this baby, we thought at the time. And spoke with the husband a little bit about it, and so they came to the decision that they would go ahead and do the pregnancy. Well, it was 2. And these 2 are in the daycare right now. Every time I see them, I'm just overjoyed that they get to be here. I mean, she got to have those babies that she wanted, And you know what? They're doing really well. That's her 6th and 7th child. Thank you. That's her 6th and 7th child. They live in one room, all 8 of them, about 10 by 10 feet. They have 2 double beds in there, and they all pile in the double beds. And she's 4. But she's got a job, and she's got 6 beautiful children. And I see them all the time. They're in school, and they're doing great, and they're happy. And it's just such a cool testimony story every time I see them, of just the hope that someone can have to not do something that would endanger their own bodies and their own lives because of poverty. So, what time is it? I talked a long time.
Oh, you did good.
I'm always very to the point, and 5 minutes later. So I think that's about all I really wanted to say. Is that okay? And then Erin said I could open up for questions. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just go into that. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes.
How's the young man who got shot?
Mario?
Yes.
That's a good question. Mario runs our smoothie bar. We have a cafe in Haiti, and he was taking his dad home. When he was bringing his dad home from the airport at Christmas time. I think it was Christmas time. Anyways, someone came up to the window and shot him twice in the face. And he lived, and he has no jaw. And so he's been only able to eat liquids since. And he was supposed to have surgery today to fix his jaw, but we did not have enough funds for that. So we're waiting on the funding for that. He needs about $10,000 to have a reconstruction of his face. Yeah. So he's getting very skinny. And he's really motivated to tell his story on Facebook right now. If you're friends with him at all, yeah, but he's doing great. He just needs to have a surgery.
Will you tell them about the cafe and that whole why you built it and kind of the
Why did
the story? Because of the way that they were getting lunch and you wanted to create more of a social space.
Yeah, it kind of evolved a little bit from that, but So we have a boutique in Haiti, so we've kind of become a destination spot. One of the other fun things about what we do there is we're very transparent. Anyone can come at any time and take a tour of the whole facility, and see everything, and see the boutique, and buy locally. And then on top of that, we have a cafe. When we first started, it was pretty much designed to be like a what's the word? Lunch cafeteria for our artisans. It kind of has digressed a little bit into, and what I think is a higher purpose, which is that all of the teams and stuff that are coming through Haiti need a place to eat and drink, and so it's created more jobs in that we have a little restaurant on site now. And so that's really cool. People really like coming there. We kind of try to keep with the theme of repurposing, so like with the cereal box, and with the clay, we're repurposing everything into something more beautiful. And so the cafe is built entirely out of pallets. And so it's kind of fun to pick the tables are all pallets, and the railing is pallets, and then it's all grass roof. So it looks very pretty, and yeah, so that's been kind of a fun addition, and it's brought a lot of people down. I think we have the number one, but I don't know where we are right now on TripAdvisor of places and things to do in Haiti, so that's one of the
Shelley, how do we tell at parties about things like how are these women protected? I mean, they're now earning the money, and I'm sure that puts them in danger. And so how are they being protected, and some of the things that they're being taught about how to manage their money and things like that?
Well, they don't have a whole lot to manage in terms of they can pretty much pay for the basics, and that's kind of what the intent is. And women are really good about knowing what's most important. They're going to send their kids to school, and they're going to feed their kids.
Are they being given the cash money, or do they have a debit card, or because I would think that if they've got cash money, they're
that's a good question. We did used to pay completely cash, and it was a situation where we were afraid every time we would do payroll that someone would get robbed on the way home. So we met with the bank, one of the main banks in Haiti, and most people can't open a bank account if they don't have an address and electricity bill and things like that. So we basically vouched for all of them, and we met with the bank and negotiated so that every single one of our artisans could have a bank account. And so now we do direct deposit into the bank account. So they all have debit cards. It's really cute, And then I think a bunch of them applied for credit cards, which everybody goes, oh no, but they're like $100 credit cards or whatever. So, but think about this. You're growing up as a poor Haitian person that did nothing, your whole life, and now since you can walk into a restaurant with a debit card or a credit card and pay for your burger, do you know what that does to your spirit? And the other thing too is sometimes I think to myself, well, Americans are really the ones to tell other countries how to manage their own personal debt. You know what I mean? Because we're not in debt at all, are we? You know what I mean? So I think sometimes it's like people come in and be like, well, you should teach them all these things that we don't even practice ourselves sometimes, and so sometimes they need to be able to figure those and make those mistakes as well. But we are very aware of not something that's going to be detrimental to them as well.
I did count of your arms and shoulders to around 300.
It's right at 300 right now. Yeah. The way that we grow is that what we'll do is we'll add a bunch, and kind of everyone kind of goes to sort of part-time, and then when there's lots and lots of work, because we're very seasonal. Obviously, we're going to be producing more for Christmas time. It's just kind of like an accordion. So rather than laying off and hiring as needs, we kind of expand. Now we're doing 5 days, now we're doing 3 days. And so we can kind of stay at the same number of artisans and then just bring them all to 5 days. And then once we run out, then we'll add 100 more or something, and we kind of do the same sort of flexing. So that's kind of how we tend to hire, and so we don't have to lay people off. Yeah.
What's a good response to somebody who might say, well, why don't they just stop having so many kids? That's like a terrifying question to me. I don't know what to answer, so.
Yeah, that's such a hard question because for me it's really hurtful. Women don't always have the ability to say no. Women are vulnerable. You guys are the most empowered women in the world, North Americans and Europeans. In other cultures, women are not empowered to say no or
to have choices that we have. And so I don't get into any kind of judgment on that. I do have some friends that do things like Depo-Vera, for women who choose not to want to have children, and that's so safely that they can give a shot every 3 months and nobody has to know the difference. So that's, we haven't done that ourselves, but there's some ways to address that other people are doing that I think are really commendable. But I can never judge a woman for having 7 kids because I don't know how that came to be or and how much choice she had in that. So, of course they understand how they use a date, you know. They do have access to birth control, but it's different, like first of all, it's not a time culture. So how many of us have a hard time remembering to take a pill the same time every day, you know, and then we're like, I forgot, you know, today or whatever. So you get a culture that's not time sensitive, it's going to be a lot harder for them to be regular and taking those things. They can purchase it, but it's not necessarily regulated the same way. Maybe it's a counterfeit, maybe, you know what I mean? There could be a lot of reasons why someone gets pregnant when they weren't intending to. And so for me, I just feel like that's not my business to judge them why they have to do what they do. Yeah.
You live there, I mean, this is my question, but you live there, you have how many children do you have?
I have 4 kids. My oldest is almost 13. She's a little mini-me. And she's super great, creative. She's going to be going into 8th grade. I'm going to have a very wise 10-year-old boy who knows the answer to everything. And then I have Jackson. So Jackson is my Haitian son. He's 8 years old. He's taller than my 10-year-old. He wears bigger shoes than I do. He's 8. And I think he's going to probably be an NFL player or something. He's literally like this. He's humongous. He's 138 pounds. He's 8 years old. Yeah, he's a big boy. So I don't know what happened there with the birth parents, but Haitians are generally pretty short, you know. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but it's kind of interesting to see what happens. So then I have another daughter, so he's 8, and then I have a daughter who's 7, who's only 7 months younger than him, who's 50 pounds.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and so she's the baby, and she's also Haitian. And just real quick, my son was abandoned. The mom came in, I saw the whole transaction take place. She left, was supposed to come back, never came back, and he was in 6 weeks, almost died in an orphanage of starvation. And so, having seen that and having met the mom, I felt just so like she trusted that this would be a better place. And I couldn't let him die. I think several babies in that orphanage died that year, and I just couldn't let him die. So took him basically direct care because I was living at the orphanage in auxiliary most of the time, and took him to a pediatrician, and he was lactose intolerant, and that was it. You know, they give them the formula that they give them, stick bottles in their mouths, because they're all lined up, you know, in orphanages. I just weren't paying attention to the fact that he was throwing everything up and started starvation within 6 weeks. And so he's been with me since he was 3 months old. And then my daughter, Ember, her mom died in childbirth. It's very, very common for women to be anemic and in Haiti. And it's also, I think, one of the most dangerous places in the world to have a baby. And a lot of women die in childbirth, so the mom died. And I got my daughter, Ember, when she was 2 days from her father. So the dad was just like, I don't know what to do, I can't feed her, I don't have breast milk, you know, and he had another child he was trying to take care of, and so I took her in. So we unfortunately lived their whole lives. So. And I love adoption, and I love my kids. And I never want people to think I'm anti-anything. I'm pro everyone. I'm pro people being able to do and be who they're supposed to be. You know? So. Any other questions?
How far do you, from where your work is, how far do most of the Haitians live from here? Do you have to walk, do several miles?
Yeah. I would say that when we started out, it was like 100% within walking distance. One of the cool things that's happened is that they've made enough money that most of them are starting to buy land. So the only problem is that land is not cheap right where we're at. So many of them are buying land out by in the beach communities about an hour and a half away. So it's kind of fun to watch them migrating out and then they commute in to come to work, but it's because they're all buying land. And land purchasing is the difference between, when you can own your own property and own your own home, it really breaks the cycle of poverty in a lot of ways, because you can't, that can be taken differently for the most part, you have a home, you have shelter, and from there, that can be your springboard,
How do they come to work right here?
Transportation, they don't have public transportation, they're called tap-taps. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that. Basically, they're pickup trucks that have been converted into bench seats at the back and they're painted these crazy wild colors. And they're all private, but they have routes and stuff, and it's much like a bus system. Did you have a question, Amanda?
Yes, where exactly is Haiti?
Where am I located in Haiti?
Yeah.
I'm in Port-au-Prince, in the Delma 75 area, if you know anything about Port-au-Prince. Yeah.
So what are all the new products that Haiti is providing?
I'm not allowed to say that. But good stuff. And I'm not gonna say that, when you're selling to put myself first. I'm not gonna say that. Everybody in the world deserves this opportunity. So I hope and pray that all of your artisan groups sell well with you guys and do well. So, yeah. Is there anything else that I can say that would help you guys when you're having your parties, or would help you explain questions about finances, or questions about day-to-day life, or anything like that? Yeah.
I don't really know much about your organization. I'm kind of learning. My question is, you said it was more like a business model. Can you kind of expand on what does that mean? Where does the money go exactly? How do people get, kind of break that down?
Yeah. Well, I guess a lot of groups that are doing sort of, we call it a social business, because we're kind of a hybrid between a nonprofit and a straight up business. We operate as a business in that we have our labor costs and our all the materials costs, and then at the end of the day, you're paying all your bills and hopefully you break even and then you make a little better profit. You know what I mean? Generally, any profits that we've had has always been invested in growth. So what's really cool is, much like Trade with Hope, we've grown exponentially over the years, but we've done it all through self-funding, so we've never been in debt as a company, and that's really rare. So we've never had to borrow money or had to take a loan out for anything. And so we'll always have needs like kitchens and stuff, or whatever. So we have to save whatever profits to grow and to buy more equipment and that kind of stuff. So in a lot of ways, we operate like a nonprofit, but we are actually a self-sustaining business. But with the goal of our organization is not to create wealth for ourselves, but to create wealth for the others. Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking all the questions. What percentage of the two works with the pottery as opposed to the jewelry making? I know lots of people can.
Yeah, we have a lot of different product lines. We do glass beads, and we do screen printing now, and we do bags and T-shirts and things like that too. That never gets out of into the Trade with Hope world, and very rarely gets out of Haiti because we have a market just in the tourism industry there. That's really hard to say because a lot of people that paint the pottery also paint the beads. So most everyone is cross-trained to at least 2 and maybe 3 or more different things that they can do. Almost everyone starts out as a bead roller because it's a way that we can get from working in 2 days. You can train in 2 days to either roll the ceramic beads or paint the beads or roll the paper beads, no problem. And that's one of the great things about our company is that we can take anyone who's never done anything before and they can be working in 2 days productively. So I can't really say because we have a huge order for paper beads, like we'll move people from this section over to here so that, and back and forth. Yeah. Yeah. Great.
How many children are in the daycare? And then how do you offer, is that a benefit for working, or do they pay a portion of their wages to the daycare?
So there's about 24, if they're all there at the same time, and it's just 0 to 2-year-olds. We are going to be expanding into a preschool this next year. So we're going to start with the 3-year-olds because we want them to continue to have a great environment where we're caring for them. And we also know that in one generation, if those kids grow up with a great education, it can completely sever that poverty cycle, you know? So that's something we're really excited about. So there's about 24. What was the other question?
And is it a benefit for working, or do they pay a person?
We started out we make a lot of mistakes, you know, and we kind of figure our things out as we go, but we started out paying for everything, you know, like we just want to bless them, you know what I mean? And then we realized that people sort of take it for granted if they're just overly blessed without any stake in the game. We found that when we paid for everything and we're feeding all the kids and providing all the diapers and all the stuff, the parents wouldn't feed them that night because they would just wait until they would get paid the next day, and that's not right, and that's not fair. And it's not good for the kids. So we provide the supervision, but they have to bring all their own supplies and food.
And who are the teachers? Because you're going to add a preschool, and right now it's a nursery. If it continues to grow, like as the work already did, kids grow, and kindergartners, first graders, who will be instructing them?
Well,
Asian teachers or no?
That's a good question. Who are here the teacher? Want to come? It's an interesting dilemma we have because the education there is really not so great and the teachers are not very well trained, and we really want these kids to have really great education. So we're kind of doing a little bit of both. We would like to bring in an American teacher who can then train Asian people to become better teachers and the philosophies of teaching that we are accustomed to in the state. So we do not have a teacher yet for our preschool. It's starting in August. We just need one person, and I think it's only going to be like 5 or 6 kids to start with. So we are putting the word out right now for a preschool teacher. Yeah, so we're excited. And then what we would hope to do, I think, and I'm probably just speaking a little bit because it's more the department side, but I think we would like to add a year every year and just kind of go about with that. Yes.
And what is the average wage for each of these women that are artisans?
I like to say 3 times the minimum wage because right now the exchange rate is all over the place because of the local situation, and you can't just like change their wages based on the exchange rate every day. You know what I mean? So we keep it at least 3 times the minimum wage right now. Probably a little higher for most of them.
And you said the minimum wage is around $3?
It's right now it's $3.50. It slid from $5 to $3.50 in this last year. Because of the exchange rate. They lost 30% of the value of their food because of the political situation. And everything is imported into Haiti, so the prices stay the same at the dollar rate. So it used to be that it was a $50 bag of rice is now costing them 30% more than that. That makes sense. But they're not making any money. So yeah, I can't answer that question in dollar amounts. It's going to change every month, but we're always aware of our goal in our heart, and that we want them to make a certain amount so that they can do those things: shelter, food, and education. Yeah. Yes.
You say that you have like a tourism area, and is that just in Port-au-Prince, or do you travel out to like on the grocery store, like Mavadine?
Yeah. We have actually some stores at Poverty who carry our stuff, so we don't actually have like a storefront up there. We're just like a little.
I just want to know the next group I'm going to go on. It's going to stop there.
Yeah.
So
There's a little store called, I think it's called Show Block, that calls some of our stuff there. And so Haiti's pretty political. You're not going to go into the same area that someone you know is selling at because you know, like, you're very cartel or something, you know what I mean? Like, something, you know what I mean? Something will happen, you know? And so you have to be very aware and mindful of everything that's going on. We try not to do too much what we think maybe for that reason. We never want to give the perception of taking anything away from locals. And so most of our sales are exports, but there are a couple of gift shops in here who sell our stuff. Yeah.
With your artisans, do you usually just work with mothers struggling to keep their children, or do you accept other people to come, like special needs artisans who have been outcasted or other situations like that?
Yeah. We try to keep it to mothers, but we have a lot of fathers. We have about 30% of our workforce is fathers. We tend to direct, like right now at this point, we're mostly just hiring women. I just find that there's a lot less drama involved with women. They kind of just want to just do the job and take care of their kids. And sometimes I've had some crazy things happen at work, from, I hate to say it, but like one of ours is a tech, another one a hammer, and they had to go to the hospital, It's always the men who do that, the women aren't doing that, you know what I mean? So we try to we find that there's more drama like that when it comes to men. I hate to say that so bluntly, but what we really want to focus on, who's going to benefit the most, how are children going to be most benefited, and we find that women generally are going to be the ones who are making sure, because it's such a single mom culture too. We do have a couple special programs. Like right now, my heartbeat right now is for our cancer program. We're working with women who have stage 4 cancer, breast cancer. These women are all single women who are on their way out. And their biggest concern is what's going to happen to my kids when they die. Because everyone around them has abandoned them because they have cancer. And they haven't had mastectomy, so they're deceased, and they're going to get abandoned by their spouses or whatever. So we're working with these women who really want to have a legacy line, and for every dollar that they earn, $1 goes into a fund for scholarships for their kids for when they pass on. And so that's just been such a huge thing for us, and that's kind of a special project, but very much in line with what we're about. It's really heavy when they come to work. They come on Saturdays. They don't come and see these other artisans because they mostly work from home because they can't come in because of chemo and stuff that they're doing. But they come in with their heads wrapped, because they've all lost their hair. And they're so joyful about the hope of the job because most of them have never worked before in their lives, and they're so excited that they get this opportunity to help their children for when they're not there anymore. And it's heartbreaking and holy at the same time. So,
what is medical care like there for the children, or?
It's really not good right now because of the government situation. Most of the hospitals are on strike because they're not paying the infrastructure at all. So people are literally dying out in the hospitals because there's no one there. It's really not a good situation. I'm blessed because I can leave if I have a medical emergency. They can't, So, yeah. Yeah.
Talk about having doctors work with you?
And we do.
Oh, I think.
We have medical teams that come twice a year. They do physicals on all of our people. They do immunizations. They do make sure the kids in the daycare are doing well. And so that is definitely a part of things. I tend to be, after the earthquake, so many medical people came in, and in a lot of ways it put the hospital out of business. And so, because everything was free. And so I tend to be the kind of person who's like, don't come and help, let them build up what they have, and you know what I mean? But right now, it's a situation where it's like, if people are medically trained, it's a good time to be paid and help. Yeah.
Percentage-wise, what's the percentage that goes to the hospital?
Yeah, that's a really hard question.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, I think the smart way to answer that question that I think Tracy Hope does is that every artisan group is paid what they're asked, so whatever their asking price is. And then for us, in particular, and I can't speak to other groups that Tracy Hope advises, but for us, we pay the artisans a wage that is a really sustainable wage for them to meet their needs. And then it's quite a bit higher than what they would make in any other job situation in Haiti. So you can't put it, because there's a difference in markup for every product. You can't say a percentage of any particular product goes back directly to us, because every product is different, and every product costs are different, marketing costs for every product is different, so it becomes a little more complicated. And if you're selling at a party, you really don't want to confuse your people who are buying with all that information. I think the important thing for them to know is that the women are being paid enough that they can shelter, feed, and send their kids to school. And that's a lot more than they would get anywhere else.
Take one more question. Do we have a burning one? Shelley's here.
I have one. If you were to stand at one of our parties
Yeah.
in front of all our people,
I have a party
you
tonight.
would say?
If I were to stand,
Like if you were at our party, you have the floor of all of our guests. What's the one thing you would say?
I think the thing I would say is I think we all, like, as a society, we kind of have compassion fatigue, right? Like, we're always hearing about how we need to buy this product because it's helping somebody in somewhere, you know? And I think that we become, get desensitized to it, and also we question it, right? Like, really, you know? I think the one thing I want people who are selling for trade with hope, CEs to know, the people who come to the price to know that it really makes a difference. I want you to go home and find the one up under you, and I want you to go sell because then I can go hire somebody else to do it. And I'm going to post those pictures on my Facebook account when I do it so you can see that someone just got a job today and thank you so much. You know what I mean? And I think it's really important for you guys to have confidence and to stand in that confidence when you're selling, to know and to tell people, no, this is the real deal. You know, make sure you get a picture. You know, I don't know. So, you know, get pictures with me. Like, you know, she lives in Haiti and she's going, you know what I mean?
Friend you and then share it.
Friend me, share any pictures I post online. You're free to take and claim as your own. I have no, you know, I have no problems with any of that. I don't have any copyright lawyers out there. But no, I want for you guys to have all those tools. Any way that I can help you, any way that you can glean from what I write to tell the story so that people believe, so that people buy more, we can really make a difference. I'm all about that. So I try as much as I can through social media to give you guys that information, maybe not as good as I could, and I know there's some trickiness because if everybody emails me, then I don't have time to do anything else, you know what I mean? That did happen to me. You know, like I was getting the CE email, like, hey, can you have time to tell me a new article story? So you get it from 40 people or 100 people, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, like, and then I don't want to be rude and not respond, so I'm like, what do I do? So I try to put the information out there. I probably won't respond if you ask for it, but I'll try to put it out there, and then you guys can just grab it and tell that story. And Papillion Enterprise has a Facebook page as well, and you can follow that. I don't manage that, one of my other staff people do. So you can pull from that, you can pull from my Facebook. I also have a blog, ShelleyInHaiti.com, and I have a Facebook for that blog, which is kind of redundant anyways, but you can pull whatever you want from any of that stuff. Yeah.
Do you sell just the bees?
I do.
I've looked on the care project and I've
Yeah.
not been able to.
Not through a care project. We do, it's just complicated because people can't usually buy the quantity that would justify the shipping cost. So, yeah, that's, you know, if it costs $15 to ship out and it's $5 a piece.
It's with our party doing it. I was
Yeah.
how much charge.
Yeah, someone else was asking me about that just recently too, and if I can figure out how that can be facilitated, like, that's great. It's just that not very easy to get things out in such small quantity, you know.
Maybe the next vision team
Yeah.
can bring a bag back or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really hope that I communicated well. I hope that, because I'm always nervous when I'm being recorded or being, you know, streamed. I'm like, I hope I didn't say anything offensive or say anything that didn't come across, you know, the way I intended. And never want to judge other groups, other ways of doing things, or, you know, so I just really hope that if you have any questions or concerns about anything I said, you know, please feel free to ask me what I meant by that. So, sometimes when you're talking, you're not hearing me, so, you know. So, all right. Thank you guys so much.
So I think that was perfect. I don't think anybody's going to be offended by anything. I hope that you heard everything. Shelley, you know, it wasn't kidding about the leaning in thing. We got to teach you to speak up because your words are everything, and the stories are everything. And I don't know about you guys, but I learn new things tonight. I learn new things every time I spend time with Shelley, and like I said, you just get punched in the heart, and it's time to go out and do more. And I love what you said about just having the confidence to say to women at your parties, you know, the compassion fatigue is real, but what Trades of Hope is doing is different and is powerful, and the fact that compassionate entrepreneurs have had the chance to go to Haiti and go to Guatemala and go to Costa Rica and see and experience these things firsthand and meet the men and women behind these artisan groups and know through transparent relationships and true partnerships that the work that we are doing is real and impacting real lives. Be confident in that and shout it. Speak it at your parties. There is no reason to cower behind anything. We have beautiful products that are changing people's lives. That's it. And any question that anybody has to that, there is an answer, because it is the truth, and it is powerful work, and there is nothing to hide, and you can be confident in that. And I hope that every single one of you goes out tomorrow. I love, because it was so true, what you said about, like, because we've all been there, where you're like, oh, I don't want to make a phone call, or I don't want to go to the party tonight, but oh my gosh, like, just take that, whatever it is that you need to plan. Maybe it's a tattoo. I feel like I need a tattoo. Like just that reminder that's always there when you start to feel like I don't want to pick up the phone, you know, and then you see the butterfly or whatever it is, and you're like, yeah, I have to do this. It is not about me. And it's so easy for me to pick up the phone. There's so many things that are so hard for the artisans. And we don't have anything in our life. We have hard stuff and nothing. We can't even imagine the hardship. And so you better believe I'm not going to complain about picking up the phone or getting in my car and going to a party because, you know, it's raining. Oh, you know, or I'm tired. Just go. Go out there and do what you do, because God created you to do it. You are a part of Trades of Hope for a reason. And you're here tonight for a reason, and Shelley's here tonight for a reason. You know, there's never a mistake. Every party is an opportunity for a group of women to come together, and whoever is there is exactly who is supposed to be there. So explore that and embrace it, and book those parties in the future and sell the lights out of products, and let's put in $100,000 order this year. I mean, yeah, we're on board. I think our teams alone could probably make that happen. So Shelley, thank you for being here tonight. And we have a gift for you. Spring, do you want to come up and present? Spring was responsible for putting this together. Spring went to Haiti on a vision trip last October, and so she has seen Genius since I saw her. So it was really cool to kind of send a teammate down after I had the experience, and then 2 years later she got to go and meet her.
So it went like this.
Okay.
This is what happened. We walked to the area where she was, and I don't think the other people with me were aware of her story. I mean, Debbie was, but I don't think Debbie was looking for her. So I see her, and I was like, Genius! You know, she's like, yeah. And everybody says, subtle Spring. That's really good. Anyway, I wanted to hug her.
Well, here, you can.
Oh, the microphone.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say what it is?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so Shelley, it doesn't look like a legit gift card, but I have a friend that is a massage therapist, and she has a table, and she wants to come to your location of choice for a 1-hour aromatherapy massage from us. Okay? While you're here.
I love it too when they come down, because artisans don't know they're famous. You know? And some people are like rushing in to take their pictures with them, and they're like, well, I'm just at work and I don't know what's happening. There's commotion and these people talking and they're saying things I don't know what they're saying, so it's always fun. And then I just have to like kind of explain that everyone knows who they are, and you know, it's kind of surreal.
She has this beautiful smile.
I just did a party with Carrie the other night, and I was crying about it. I cry every time I talk about them. So that's a wrap. That you know, unless you guys, I think that's we have streamed and we have gone live and we have done everything we can possibly do. So just take pictures with Shelley, like she said. Get your selfie with Shelley, and yes, thank you so much for our beautiful gift. And yeah, she said you're probably not a part of it, but she said if you she said if you hate it, but if you want to exchange what was in front of you with something else, there are other pieces available. So don't be shy if you want to take a peek and see what else. And yeah, thank you guys for being here.
All right. Thank you guys for trying to stay. I know I went live on the Facebook page. There will be videos available. Veronica took a really good video, and we will get that out to you guys as soon as possible. Thank you very much.